Okay, this is 3.4 for Workplace Math 10. This is all about volume. So when we're talking about volume, volume is the amount of space that an object occupies. Okay, so for example, the volume of any prism. So remember, a prism can be a square base that's carried through. It can be a cylinder. Okay, both of those are prisms. They're types of prisms. So the formula is the same. Calculate the area of the base and multiply it by how tall the object is. Okay. So we're going to hit the ground running. Alfred has a bulk container that holds 2,000 cubic inches of dog biscuits. He plans to sell biscuits in small boxes that measure 5 inches by 8 inches by 6 inches. Not too bad. How many boxes does he need to sell? To figure that out, we need to figure out how much each box can hold. To do that, we find the volume. So 5 times 8 times 6. Okay. 5 times 8 is 40, times 6 is 240 inches cubed. Okay. So if each box can hold 240 inches cubed, and we have 2,000 inches cubed, we need to divide to figure out how much we would need. And if you do out the 2,000 divided by 240, you get 8.33. However, he wants to sell all of the dog biscuits. So if we only do 8 boxes, he's going to have that 0.33 left over. However, that means that we would have to round up to 9 boxes to be able to get the full answer. Okay. Try or build your skills, numbers 1 to 3. Come back when they're done. Okay. Gonna assume those are done. So Paulino runs a landscaping business. He needs to cover an area that is 10.8 meters by 9.5 meters by 10 centimeters of topsoil. How much will it cost if the soil is, ooh, look at this, different units. And it's only available in half yards. Well, that's a little different. So if that's the case, we need to first convert our centimeters to meters. To do that, we have 1 meter is 100 centimeters, 0.1 meters. Okay, then we get our numbers and multiply them together. Are 10.8 meters times 9.5 meters times 0.1 meters. And it'll give us 10.26. However, now we need to find out how many meters equals how many yards. So we know 3 yards is 1 meter. Remember, on your formula sheet, it has all the conversions on it as well that you could possibly need. Okay. So if we want to square it, we have to square each number. So we would get 9 yards squared equals 1 meter squared, because 1 times 1 is 1 and 3 times 3 is 9. And then if we wanted to do it cubed, we'd have to cube our original numbers. So 3 times 3 times 3 is 27 yards cubed, and 1 times 1 times 1 is still 1 meter cubed. So then we go on to calculate out what we have. So 10.26 times 27, this was cubed, 27 yards cubed and 1 meter cubed. I do it this way just so it's easier to figure out whether we're multiplying or dividing, because the unit that we originally have has to be the unit on the bottom. Okay, and then you just have your conversion, so the one that you want is on the top. So those actually cancel each other out, and we are left with an answer of 277.02. Oof, this 0.02 means that we have to round up to 277.5. Okay, we cannot keep it at 0.02 because if we do, they won't have enough. And it's only sold in multiples of half yard. The closest half yard next would be 277.5. So, and it was $18.75 per yard. Okay, so that trick I did with the units works with anything that you're doing that has different units. So this was yards cubed times 18.75 divided by 1 yard cubed. Our yards would go away. We'd be left with only money. Okay. And then we do our 277.5 times 18.75. And we get, ooh, that's going to be expensive. Oh, no, something happened there. That's too big. We get $5,203.13. Okay, next you can try your build your skills numbers 4 and 5 on page 162. Okay, now that those are done. So when you're dealing with volume, you also need to deal with what's called capacity. And we're only going to do a little bit of it, and it's only going to be a little bit of an introduction. But so the difference is when dealing with containers that can hold items, their volume is also called their capacity. Okay? So if an object is solid, it doesn't have a capacity. If it is hollow, like it's a drinking cup, it has capacity. Okay. So when you're dealing with SI units, so your System International units, remember that the basic unit of capacity is a liter. This is equal to 1/1000th of a cubic meter or 1,000 cubic centimeters. When you're dealing with imperial units, capacity is measured in gallons. However, they have a whole bunch of different units. So you have 2 quarts is equal to 1 gallon, 2 pints is equal to 1 quart, and 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. Okay. However, when we're talking about gallons, we need to be aware, if we're out in the real world looking at stuff and something's given in gallons, where that object is coming from. Because when we're dealing with gallons, the British gallon is approximately 4.5 liters and 1 pint is equal to 20 fluid ounces. However, the US gallon is approximately 3.8 liters and 1 pint is equal to 12 fluid ounces. So it's important to know what we're doing and what we're using. For this, we're mainly going to be using the US system, but this is just for your knowledge so that you're aware that there are different systems out there. Okay. So when measuring liquids for recipes, the US system is often used. Okay. Note that these all have been kind of adjusted to make them easier numbers to deal with, and this is the real life scenario of 1 cup is not exactly 250 milliliters, but for the sake of conversions, they say that it is. Okay. So Paula is opening a French bakery and wants to make authentic French recipes. All of her recipes are given in metric units, but she has imperial measuring devices. The creme brulee recipe requires 500 milliliters of cream and 1.25 milliliters of vanilla. How much cream will she need in cups? Well, our trick with the units canceling out works. So milliliters is what we have originally, so that means milliliters needs to be on the bottom. We look at our cups conversion. 250 milliliters is equal to 1 cup. So 500 times 1 divided by 250 gets us 2 cups. How much vanilla will she need? Well, she originally had 1.25 milliliters. Note, milliliters is on the bottom and we want teaspoons. Which one is those? That one is this one here. 1 and 5. We end up with 0.25 teaspoons. And how much will she need in fluid ounces? For the sake of practicality and what you're more likely to deal with, we are going to use the US system. Okay, so we have our 0.5 liters but we want to get all the way down to fluid ounces. So we have 1 gallon is equal to 3.8 liters. Okay. Now I'm going to do this all as one. You can do it separately. So, but I don't want gallons. I want fluid ounces. So the next one I'm going to look at, okay, so I had gallons. Okay, I'm going to go down to quarts, and then from quarts down to pints, and then pints to fluid ounces. So gallons to 2 quarts is equal to 1 gallon to 2 pints is equal to 1 quart to 12 fluid ounces is equal to 1 pint. What I have done and how I'm able to do it all at once is I notice that I have one here and one here. Okay. Then I have the next ones. Okay. And then I have the next ones. And I have the next ones. Okay, as long as they're on the top and the bottom, they cancel out. And all we're going to be left with is our fluid ounces. So all this is anytime there's 1 on the top, you are dividing by your bottom number. Anytime there's 1 on the bottom, you are multiplying by your top number. So 0.5 divided by 3.8 equals times 2 equals times 2 equals times 12. So you get 0.5 liters is equal to 6.32 fluid ounces. Okay. That was probably more confusing if you do it all at once, but you can break it down and do it each one. Do your liters to gallons, get the answer. Then do your gallons to quarts, get the answer. Then do your quarts to pints, get the answer. And then do your pints to fluid ounces and get your final answer. Okay, you have build your skills on page 165, number 7 and 8 to try. And then you're on to your practice your skills numbers 1 to 4 and then 6.